Alright, I'm gonna be totally honest. The title of this video is kind of misleading in a way that doesn't, sit with this series very traditionally. Usually when I talk about terrifying stands, it's because of their ability, Made in Heaven's ability to reset the universe through speed and being super mega OP busted, and the world's ability to freeze time are terrifying abilities because they can lead to instant death due to their speed and power. But this time around, it's kind of, not in Killer Queen's favor. The ability to blow stuff up and to make stuff into bombs is kind of pretty generic and tropey in the terms of writing for manga and just, writing in general. But here's the thing, the saving grace for Killer Queen. It is not the ability that makes him terrifying, but how his user uses the ability that makes him terrifying. In the terms of JoJo villains, Yoshikage Kira is probably the best at what he does. He wants a simple, generic life where he's able to have his hand fetish in a small, quaint town. And with Killer Queen by his side, he's able to commit atrocities that no human should do without taking responsibility for it in a court of law, due to Killer Queen's ability to make anything into a bomb, erasing any evidence whatsoever. Now that's pretty damn terrifying. The ability to murder people and not being able to find any evidence of said murder because of your stand ability, and being able to live a peaceful life for the rest of your life, even though you've committed mass atrocities, is pretty goddamn terrifying, not gonna lie. And not to downplay the ability to turn anything to a bomb, because that is terrifying, don't get me wrong, but compared to the other JoJo villains and other JoJo stands, it's kind of lackluster to a degree. But combining with Yoshikage's kind of peaceful life and trying to be the second to everything and not trying to be a suspect in any case basically means that Killer Queen is nearly unstoppable in what it does. But here's the thing though, that it's kind of stupid talking about this, but it has to be mentioned. Kira doesn't even have to be in the room with you to kill you. Enter Sheer Heart Attack. One of the most OP abilities in all of JoJo. I'm not even joking. I'm going off script with this. I'm not even joking you. This thing is stupid OP. Sheer Heart Attack, a very small and quaint little, model tank that kind of looks like Killer Queen, had enough durability that even Star Platinum could barely even scratch it. And that's not even its ability either. Sheer Heart Attack is an automatic stand that has the ability to track down a person by their body temperature and then proceed to enter their body and explode. I don't really have to explain why that's utterly terrifying. Kira already has the ability not to get caught or nearly get caught with Killer Queen. There always could be the chance that somebody sneaks up behind him, randomly during one of these murders. With Sheer Heart Attack, you just kind of summon it, sit in the background, and wait till it's done. And there you go, your freshly new girlfriend hand. Kira's weird, but Jesus Christ is he scary. But all villains have their downfall. That downfall being Josuke, Higashikata, and the Morio warriors. Killer Queen does seem pretty unstoppable to normal people due to the fact that you can't see Killer Queen and his bomb attack and Sheer Heart Attack to add to that, but to a stand user, you can see all of what Kira can do, and that's what led to his downfall thanks to Jotaro and Koichi. And you're probably thinking, wow, it took two incredibly powerful stand users to defeat Kira. Wow, he is really, really powerful. I think you know where I'm going with this. Bites the dust. After being pierced by the arrow a second time, Kira has gained a new stand ability. That stand ability being Bites the Dust and its ability to loop time. Well, how do you activate Bites the Dust? Well, if you speak Yoshikage Kira's name to anybody, the ability automatically activates and it kills said person that you talk to and then loops your day. This ability is most likely infinite due to the fact that it keeps on looping until you stop saying Yoshikage Kira's name, until probably death. We've only seen it, work for a limited amount of time in the anime and manga, but you could probably presume that it works until you die. And the only way to stop it is by not saying Yoshikage Kira's name, or Kira deactivates the ability manually. Oh, and you think a time loop isn't scary? Oh, hold up. Let me talk about Stray Cat then. Kira in part 4 eventually finds a cat stand that has the ability to make pressurized air bubbles, and when realizing this, he proceeds to put that stand into his own stand, which is Standception, which is also kind of freaky. He proceeds to use the pressurized air bubbles in combination with his first bomb, that being his bomb manipulation, and makes pressurized air bubble bombs, which cannot be seen by the regular eye. Remember what I said in the beginning of this video when I said Killer Queen isn't very terrifying because of its power? Well, by the end of part 4, yeah, that statement is kind of wrong, because Killer Queen at the end of part 4 is ridiculously overpowered, and in combination with Yoshikage Kira's mindset and kind of motivations in part 4, he is beyond terrifying at this point. But the only reason why Kira failed in his fight against Josuke is because Kira can't fight at all. Killer Queen is more of a stealth-based stand, while Crazy Diamond and a lot of the other stands in part 4 are more combat-oriented up close. So that was one of the major downfalls of Killer Queen. In the end, Killer Queen from part 4 with a combination of Kira by his side are a extremely powerful, deadly duo, only truly being beaten by Hayato thanks to his ingenuity and his resolve to find out about his father. Well, that's about it when it comes to Killer Queen, so I think that's the end of the video. Yeah, no, we still gotta talk about part 8, cause that's a thing. Now, Killer Queen in part 8 doesn't change too much, visually speaking. But when it comes to his powers, yeah, nah, he is not stealthy whatsoever. His explosions are bigger and can be seen by normal people. He has a sheer heart attack that has more than one sheer heart attack, and can be remotely controlled by Kira himself. And not to worry, this version of Kira isn't an insane serial killer. He's actually more Jotaro based. You see, in the Steel Ball Run universe, which JoJo only takes place in, everybody's kind of weird, bizarre even. And so that means Kira this time around isn't an insane, crazy maniac going around Morio killing people. He actually is a doctor. And to be more specific on that, he actually works on a boat because he's a sailor and a Joestar. Wow, part 8 is fucking weird. But let's go back to Killer Queen. When comparing both base Killer Queens, it's clearly obvious which one's better. It's Yoshikage Kira's. Insert funny joke here. But no, it's from part 8. The part 8 Killer Queen is way better due to the sheer heart attack ability of controlling it remotely with yourself and not just letting it automatically do whatever it wants. It's way better. But the one downside being to part 8 Killer Queen's bomb ability compared to the part 4 version is that the bombs are in bubbles. That being a direct parallel to when Killer Queen had Stray Cat. Basically meaning that the first bomb has been removed and has been replaced by a totally original idea that kind of fuses concepts together. And that really just sums up part 8 Killer Queen. It's just an overall better and more meshed together fusion of Killer Queen's bombs and abilities, but done a lot better. Except one thing, Killer Queen from part 8 doesn't have Bites the Dust. What if I were to make one, using the theoretical fan theory that the Rokakaka has the ability to upgrade stand ability similar to how the stand arrows have the same ability to do that as well. If I were a Rocky and was going to make a one-shot what if fan theory version of the Vitamin C fight, this is how I would make it go down. During the torture scene in this arc, I would make it to where a Rokakaka mysteriously just shows up in Kira's hands because of plot convenience, and when he eats it, he gains a new ability, assuming that Rokakakas can actually give you a enhanced ability. He proceeds to shoot out a small bubble bomb. It makes contact with Tamaki and nothing happens. To be honest, Tamaki barely even notices something has grazed his forearm. This was during the time where he was kind of torturing Josefumi. He notices that Kira has done something and proceeds to attack him, but when he does, his body begins to go up in flames and completely disintegrate, causing Vitamin C's ability to stop. He then proceeds to look at the other rock humans and say, well, looks like he just bit the dust. Now, this version of Bites of Dust is a little bit unique. I've taken parts of the original Bites of Dust and put the elements into Killer Queen's first bomb ability. It's kind of a mesh between the two, but what I've really honestly done have just taken out the time loop ability of Bites of Dust out of it, since it's not needed here. And I've slightly modified it to where Killer Queen doesn't need to touch you, it has to be the bubble. Now, why did he blow up? As we know, the original Bites of Dust ability blew you up because you told somebody Yoshikage Kira was a serial killer. The bubble already kind of has an idea of what Kira wants, and so in this moment here, Tamaki activated it because Kira wrote down in the bubble, or kind of like put it in the bubble with his mind. He made it to where if anybody were to harm him, it would blow the person up. And of course, this effect lasts forever, just like the original Bites of Dust ability. And the only way to stop this new Bites of Dust is to, well, never interact with Kira ever, because it doesn't have an actual weakness to it. You can't get rid of it. It's part of you forever, or until, you know, Kira dies of natural causes, of course. So yeah, I just basically made a extremely more terrifying version of an already more terrifying version of Killer Queen. Jesus Christ, I'm a maniac. Well, I think that wraps up the video. I basically talked about all of Killer Queen's abilities and made a more terrifying version of Killer Queen. So yeah, I'm crazy. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Stay hydrated. See you in the next one, ladies and gentlemen.